Hello and welcome. My name is Deborah Ethwin Arbenlow, and I'm a blogger and photographer for Second Life. You'll have to excuse the sound of my voice. I have had laryngitis for several weeks, and I'm trying to get over it. But for now, I just have a little bit of Scarlett Johansson going on. So the reason that I'm making this video is because I got something really exciting in my Second Life mail today. I got a bento test head from Catwa. So I wanted to show you guys the capabilities of the bento heads with the changing of your shape, your face shape in particular, so that you can really make the mesh heads your own. So I still think that different mesh heads will be necessary because you still have to look at the base head that you get. You have the head itself and then you modify the head. So you have to start with a mesh that you like. So I still think you're going to have multiple heads, but at least in this way you can change the heads a little bit so that they're more you. So I'm currently wearing the Catwa Test Bento head, and this is my own shape, not the shape that she included with it. So I'm just going to go through and show you guys what different sliders will do for the head. So obviously you could already do big heads, small heads, so we're not going to do that, and head stretch. But now you can do other things like make the head more square or more round if you want to. Let's see. You can change it so you can make the forehead or chin show more prominently. You can change the head length to be flat or long, which is something you'd see from the side. We're not going to work on face shear because that's just weird. Let's see. Brow size is not really going to affect you. Most people I don't think are going to be using brow size. Upper cheeks you can make more puffy or thinner. Not a huge difference, but like a slight difference. Lower cheeks you can make a pretty big difference with how chipmunky you want to look. If you want to have a very heart-shaped face or if you want to have a very sunken face. Cheekbones don't really affect. They do work, but they don't have a huge effect. Eyes do have a pretty big effect. So with the eyes, you can make them bigger, smaller. You can change the angle. So we'll just take a look at that. So, and then of course you're going to need to adjust your eyeballs if you make your eyes huge or small or whatever. So with mesh heads, it's just like any other, you're going to have to adjust them. So you can make them small, big, you can make them about average size. You can make the opening itself wider and then the eyes smaller. You can change the setting so you can have them close together, far apart for a little bit more of an ethereal sort of look. You can change the eye corner. I like my eye corners up pretty high, but you can also have them go down. You can have them go really high up, center. So you can make them look a little bit more Asian if you wanted to, or you can make them pretty much whatever way you want. Let's see, inner eye corner, up and down, just like usual. Eye bug is not a huge deal. You just basically move your eye sockets. Let's see. Upper eye folds have a slight effect. Mostly it just kind of make you look high, so it's not exactly something you're probably going to use a whole bunch. Eye bags, this is probably not something you're going to want to use because all it really does is drag the eyes down a little bit. But if you're really looking for this kind of look, definitely heroin chic. Let's see. So puffy eyelids, again, just sort of makes them bigger. It doesn't really affect you. Eyelashes don't affect it really. They'll move the eyes around a little bit, but they don't really affect it. Eye pop doesn't work, but then again, you really don't want to do that anyway. Ears you can make bigger or smaller. So you can have nice little tiny ears. You can use the ear angle doesn't work, but you can, and the attached to your lips doesn't work, but you can actually make them longer. They don't actually turn pointy because it depends on the mesh itself, but they do get longer and shorter if you use the ear tips part. Let's see, nose, you can change basically everything about the nose. So your nose can be large. Let me actually turn this to the side. So here's my nose right now. I can make it bigger or smaller. as I like. I can make it wider. Let me turn it back. I can make the nose more wider, narrow. Nostril width, not a huge difference, but a little difference. So a lot of these are a little bit less of a difference than you'd see on like a Second Life standard head. Nostril division has a little bit of effect, not a huge effect. Nose thickness really just sort of shreks out your nose. It's probably going to depend on the base mesh as well, the sort of look that you get. Upper bridge, we can turn to the side. You can increase the upper bridge and decrease it. So if you increase the upper bridge and the lower bridge, you can sort of have like a bit more of a prominent nose. But it's not really designed to make the sort of Grecian kind of noses yet. I think with the right base mesh you probably could, but there's still some limitations with this. Nose angle just lifts and lowers it. We can look at that from the side as well. Lifts and lowers. It's not a huge difference. Let's go back to front. Nose tip shape. Again, it's just slight differences in shape. So these are really minute changes that you're making to the base mesh, which is, like I said, why I think that you still will probably have multiple heads that you like, because your base mesh will only change so much. So for lips, you can make your lips narrow, make them really tight, or you can make them really wide if you want to have a bigger mouth. You can make them more full, all the way less full. I'm wearing some different teeth. She included some teeth, but I actually had some on, so the teeth will be changed a little bit in the final. So you can make the mouth go certain ways. Again, same basic principle, lip thickness, and you can see this from the side as well. It gives you sort of duck lips if you wanted them. So you can shrink them and increase them. Shrink them, increase them. But it does give you, the opportunity to have the big DSL or have the average size lips, which is great. Oh, by the way, this is the Details Mary skin. If you're not familiar, I'll put it in the description. Lip ratio has a slight effect, not a huge effect, but it does have an effect. Mouth position, you can lower and higher it. We'll have to figure out how teeth work for Bento for the future. I'm sure that they will happen. I didn't test out the Catwa teeth that she included. I used some teeth that I already had. And in fact, Cerberus just released some cool teeth as a group gift, in case you didn't know. So mouth corner, you can make it smiley or frowny if you want. Lip cleft, not a huge impact really. I mean, it does change the lip cleft, but it's a pretty minor effect. And then the other part of the lip cleft, again, not a huge effect, which, as I keep repeating myself, is why I think base mesh is still going to need to be different. You can shift the mouth if you want, but I mean, who would do that? That's a little weird. And then we have the chin, which you can, let me turn this to the side again. You can make the chin go in and out. You can make the chin deeper. You can make it a high jaw or a low jaw. You can make it jut in the jawline. Jowls don't really work. Let's look at that from the front. Oh, lost myself. I always do that. Okay. Alright, so let's look at this chin from the front. Alright, so chin angle, like I said, you can pull it in and out. It looks a little bit better, in my opinion, out a little bit more. You can change your jaw to be square or pointy. And some of the head shape changes will also affect how this looks. So if you want it to be pointy, square, you can have your chin long, short, And if you have your chin long, you could bring your lips down a little bit if you wanted. You could be Jay Leno if you wanted. Lots of options there. Jaw angle, it really doesn't affect too much in the front. It's more of a side view. Underbite, again, not a huge effect in the front, more of a side view. Jowls don't really function because it's more based on fat, not based on bones. Chin cleft doesn't really function. Again, no real function there. And then the tight chin does work. So you can have a heavier face or a thinner face, whatever you want. And that's about it for that. I'm sure there are more options that I am forgetting to tell you about. But I was just so excited that even with my little laryngitis going on, I really just wanted to show you what all was going on because I thought it was really cool. So that is that, and more information will be coming as it goes. So as a progressive bento, they are thinking it's probably going to be late fall release, I think, but they have not confirmed anything about the release of Bento. Currently, Bento is only available on a test viewer. It is not in the main viewers yet, but it is available for you to test out. I do not know if Catwa has put the test head out. I don't think that she did. But it is really cool, and I'm really excited for the future of Second Life to have these kinds of heads in them. So that is that, and thank you for joining me and putting up with my Scarlett Johansson voice, and I hope that you enjoyed this.